Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. It's going to be an important session for our markets as officially the earnings season starts from today with Infosys and HDFC Bank announcing the numbers. Also we have IIP data which is going to be released during the course of the day. First, talking about the global markets, US markets were flat though the jobless claim data that came out at 3,35,000 were at a 4.5 years lowest level, and though this data came out as a positive surprise, the market actually came down quite sharply from the high point of the day. European markets were up about 1.5 to almost 1.8%, but the overall perception in the market is that there is a move by the credit rating agencies to push Spain into officially claiming for a bailout. And on a weekly basis, most of the European markets were down anywhere from 2 to 3%. When we look at the Asian markets today morning, most of the markets are quoting at about 0.5 to 0.75% kind of a positive gains. Talking about the flows, friends, yesterday FIIs were net buyers to the tune of about 1,079 crore in the cash market, and the domestic institutions were seller to the tune of about 600 odd crore. On that note, let me invite Shaival to take us through important F&O cues and the strategy for the F&O market.
Good morning friends. From past couple of trading sessions we have been seeing that on the F&O fronts the FII's activity has been pretty timid, and what we have seen in yesterday's trade also that once the reforms in the market by the governments have been declared, we have seen that markets have taken support around 5,650 odd levels, and from there we have seen a sharp bounce back in the market, due to which we have seen that the PCR ratio is still at the mark of 1. Now what we have observed from past few days is that there's no much change in the open interest on the Nifty futures front, but yes, a small amount of say short covering or say profit booking has been witnessed in the market from past couple of trading sessions, which has been indicating that every rise or every decline has been taken as an opportunity to encash on the positions. Now on the implied volatility front, what we have seen is that the implied volatility has increased marginally. So what we have seen is that the concentration on the option front is taking place on the 5,800 call option and 5,900 call option, whereas on the put side 5,700 and 5,600 put option has witnessed a good activity. So net this has been indicating that market would trade in this broad range of 5,600 and 5,900. But what we feel is that 5780 is the weekly VWAP, and 5800 call option also stands with the highest number of shares in the open interest. So that would act as a hurdle for the market on intraday basis today, and if those levels are taken off, probably then the next hurdle would be 5900. From the intraday perspective, we have identified three stocks, two stocks on the positive side and one stock on the negative side. Century Textile is looking good, so one can buy Century Textile with support of 370 rupees. Opto Circuit is also looking good, so one can buy it with support of 133.40, and Biocon is looking bit weak, so one can go short on that with resistance of 277 rupees 60 paisa. Thank you.
Friends, on the other development, the Brent crude price has shot up to almost $115 on geopolitical concerns. So this could be a bit of a negative for our markets. And talking about the domestic markets, friends, yesterday we had a very smart pullback in the second half of the day, wherein from the low point of the day, Nifty moved up by almost about 80 to 100 points with very strong action across the mid-cap and some of the high beta names like JP Associates, Reliance Infra, and some of the banks. And today being important events day, let's talk about what are the important things that we are tracking today. First of all, IIP growth for the month of August is likely to be around 1% as against 0.1% for July. But of late, IIP number is something that the market is not too focused on. And other development, Rangarajan panel committee report is likely to be submitted very soon, and they have recommended decontrolling the sugar industry. This is a little sensitive issue, so the government may not actually move ahead with full decontrol of sugar, but something positive on that front could have some kind of a positive effect on some of the sugar companies like Balrampur Chini, Bajaj Hindustan, Renuka Sugar, etc. So watch out for those stocks in today's market. Also, two important results are likely to be announced in Infosys and HDFC Bank. Just to give you a quick overview of what the market is expecting from these two companies' numbers, Infosys, the market is looking at a net profit figure of 2358 crore, which would mean about 3.5% kind of a quarter-on-quarter growth in the rupee net profit level. Also, friends, there are expectations that the dollar revenue guidance for the full year might be upgraded to about 6.5 to 7% from the 5% earlier. But looking at the kind of rupee movement that we have seen in the past about 1 month, there may not be a substantial improvement in the rupee EPS guidance as such. We shall try and update you on the strategy that one can have once the numbers are out at some time around 9 o'clock today morning. HDFC Bank is going to come out with good steady set of numbers, and we are looking at a net profit of 1565 crore, which would mean about 30.5% kind of a growth, very steady growth for HDFC Bank. Friends, Supreme Court yesterday has stuck to its stance of cost-based pricing model for the pharma companies and has actually given time to Cabinet till November 27 to finalize the drug pricing policy. If this cost-based pricing model is actually implemented, it could be negative for some of the MNC and Indian players like Cadila Health, Cipla, Ranbaxy and Sun Pharma. So we'll have to wait for a final pricing policy by the Cabinet, which could be out in the next about 1 week to 10 days time. In case of telecom tower industry, the government has granted the status of the industry, which would mean that some of the companies like GTL and the telecom companies which have a tower arm could have some positive implications. So one can go long on GTL with a stop loss of 32.5 and a target of about 34 to 35. Also, in case of Bharti, one can go long with a stop loss of 261 and a target of about 275 to 280. Apollo Tyre is in the process of acquiring a New York listed company, and on the back of that one can go long there with a stop loss of 86 and a target of about 91 to 93. Reliance Power's, one of the power units, Tato Hydro Power project, has got the final clearance, so one can go long on Reliance Power with a stop loss of 100 and a target of about 105 to 107. NHPC is looking at buying back its own shares. The pricing and the other details are not known, but since the stock has underperformed the broader market for a long time and there is some value there, there could be a good upside that one could look at for people who want to get into stock with a low probability of a downside. So one can go long with a stop loss of 20.8 and a target of about 22 to 22.5. Maruti has indicated that the overall growth guidance for next year would be down to about 5% as against 10% that they were looking at earlier. This has come in the market in the last few days, and in fact Siam has also downgraded the overall growth forecast for many of the auto companies. So this has been known, but there could be a quick negative reaction in the market today. So one can go short with a stop loss of 1397 and a target of about 1329 to 1300. And in case of Suzlon, we had reported that there is going to be some kind of a default on FCCB payment, and now there are reports that the bond holders could move ahead with winding up petition against the company. So this counter could remain weak to subdued for the next few days. That's it from all of us, friends. As I said before, we shall try and give you an update on the Infosys numbers once they are out and the possible strategy that we could have at around 9 o'clock. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session. See you tomorrow.